Saturday night on Changes Square in Minsk. People call it that because of the mural here. It depicts two defiant DJs who broke ranks to play the Soviet-era protest song I Want Changes at a government event just before the election. Today, it's a rallying point for opponents of the regime, like Alla and her friends.
Over the last 2.5 months, everything has changed in Belarus. The people have changed, that's the main thing. We've all fundamentally changed.
We realize that we're people, and we want to be free, to have control over our own lives and our children's futures.
We're all risking a lot, but we overcome our fears and keep going, and we will keep going, right?
Mostly, police do not disrupt these courtyard events, which present an opportunity for young musicians like Leah, whose lyrics certainly resonate.
Of course, the song has a political subtext. It's about the emotions inspired by the election campaign.
Things are all the more emotional now.
The atmosphere at those courtyard concerts is always so inspiring. You just feel like everything's okay, that at some point we will win.
Valeria and Vlad live on the other side of Minsk from Changes Square, but as they explained, there are dozens of such squares now. Every neighborhood has a rallying point.
For a long time, people in this area couldn't decide which courtyard to hold concerts in. But in the end, they chose this one because on the day when the police were taking down red and white ribbons all over Minsk, for some reason, they didn't touch these ones here.
The opposition's red and white colors surround the yard.
Look up there, red and white t-shirts, flags.
But look there, they've painted over the graffiti saying "Long live Belarus," and they've painted over a red and white flag.
Not everyone's unhappy about that, though.
What? Is it not hooliganism? Yes, I support him very much so. Perhaps he didn't get at 80%, maybe it was 70%, but he won the election. He won.
There are still plenty of people who support Lukashenko, but they're usually in villages and small towns, and it's the older generation. I don't think you'd find many young people who support him.
Mostly, though, people in these courtyards speak of a newfound community spirit, sharing ideas and improving the urban landscape. But there is another place in Minsk where opponents of Lukashenko often meet in less cheerful circumstances. The Okrestina detention center. Hundreds were arrested in mass protests earlier this week. Their loved ones often don't know where they're being held. They come here looking for news.
People run around the city looking for anyone who can tell them anything. There's no official information.
The mood here is both anxious and angry, but there's also a sense of solidarity.
Visiting these places only motivates us more.
It rallies the nation. The situation has shown how people can be united. But for now, we're here, and it's not fun for us.
Nastya is worried about her sister, who she thinks is here. She says she was detained quite arbitrarily.
These are human rights violations, violations of our constitutional rights. They're just trying to beat us up and detain us. We're running very big risks, but the point of no return has been passed.
Belarus's opposition formed a coordination council, but all its leaders are now in jail or exile. Except one. Lilia Vlasova was released last week. She stresses, though, that the council doesn't direct the protests.
As you can see, the members of the Presidium are absent, but the protests continue. What's different about our revolution is that people are self-organizing.
Vlasova and her husband are also active in their area's local movement.
Look, there's the flag of our area, Olovka. We've also got our gathering point, our symbols. We meet and talk.
Alla and Sergei, who we met at Changes Square, have found out there's an organization that could give a legal status to these neighborhood initiatives. They're discussing how to apply.
We want to officialize our evenings, meetings, other initiatives.
We're hoping that in this country there are at least some laws that work.
We want to have beautiful courtyards, a beautiful area that's flourishing.
These new friends joke that they have Lukashenko to thank for bringing them together.
We're looking to the future. With or without Lukashenko, we're going to live differently from now on.
Preferably, though, they all agree, without Lukashenko.